First cup. Boop. Okay. All right. Got my robe and my coffee. And you're here. What else do we need? Nothing. Nothing. Nothing, I tell you. Showtime. 3, 2. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Tuesday. It's May 18th, 2021. My name's Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Well, I hope you had a good Monday. How was your Monday? Was it productive? Was it enjoyable? Was it a good transition back from the weekend? I think mine was all of those things. Monday for me is meeting Monday. But they were all good meetings. Got a lot of work done. Helped people. And sent a bunch of email. Really pretty solid with what's going on. Things are moving. Today's recording day. I have 2 podcast interviews scheduled. Looking forward to both of them. 2 people that I know a little bit for different reasons, but looking forward to getting to know them better as we record. Nothing on the agenda for the morning in terms of recording, so there's a bunch of work that I'm gonna do. Now, one of the things I'm going to do, I did not get to start on it yesterday, and I'm a little annoyed at myself because this is big stuff. This is important. Is the audiobook, audiobook for the novel Faith. I gotta dig in. I gotta start listening. I gotta make sure it's okay, and if it's okay, then we can get it up to Audible soon. And then you can listen to it. You can listen to my voice. You can listen to me read the book that I wrote. How cool is that? What else did I do yesterday? Went to the gym, made some food, did some kicks, worked on the flexibility book. I'm going to keep working on that flexibility book. I'm trying to... It's going to take longer than I thought it would because the sheer need to back up everything I'm saying scientifically. So I take all the science that I've pulled in and I write some paragraphs and rearrange some information and try to connect those dots. Good morning, Stacy, and make a claim. And then I go looking for a scientific paper that justifies that claim. Yeah, it takes time. But Frank says, don't stretch yourself too thin. I love it. What I started doing yesterday was, instead of pausing in the moment and going to research, just making a note. I need a citation here, I need a citation there, and then I'll go back, because right now it hasn't been, I don't think it's as efficient as it could be. So hopefully this is a little more efficient. I would like to get that. I'd like to get to the program. I'd like to start working on the program. Because there are gonna be 2 people who read this. People say, okay, Jeremy, I trust you. I trust what you're saying. I'm gonna do the program. And then you're gonna have people who are gonna read it and say, I don't believe you. I don't trust you. I don't know you. I think you're lying. And they're gonna need all kinds of evidence. And a good portion of them are still not gonna believe me, and that's okay. You can't change everybody's mind. You can't just show everybody, hey, here's a better way, and have them accept it. Some people have a really hard time accepting new information or change or a different way of looking at things. Well, I don't know what the weather was like where you are, but it was beautiful here in Vermont yesterday. I had the windows open, doors open, and it's going to be like that all week. I think we've got some rain coming at some point, including the weekend. But I'm looking out at blossoms on all the apple trees and the pear trees, and it's great. Assuming we don't have some crazy wind or hailstorm or last minute frost, which nothing on the calendar suggests that we have a frost coming, we should have a bumper crop of apples. Any of your tree fruits should do very well, at least up here this year. I'm excited for that. Anything else to say? No, we got projects going. We got a lot of projects going. I like the projects. Might be a little bit too much on my plate, but then again, this is one of those busy weeks where, midday Thursday will roll around and I'll be better. Because I'll catch up. I'll catch up today. A little bit today, tomorrow, Thursday. Oh, I remember when it was so busy I was working on Sundays. I haven't had to do that. And I'm thankful for that. That was pre-pandemic. Pre-pandemic when I would do some stuff and then go over to Panera for a couple hours and have some coffee and do more email and just go, email. I'm not a fan of email. Is anybody really a fan of email? Remember when you started sending email? You were so excited. I got an email! And now it's, I have email. I have so much email. All right. Let's see what you gave me to talk about. What kind of stuff we got going on? How do you leave me something to talk about? You put in the comment section below once the show closes, or perhaps you are a listener, not a viewer, and then you email me, jeremy@whistlekick.com. Looks like we've got some great feedback on yesterday's episode 606 with Sifu Herb Mayer. That was a fun one. What a great guy. And I see some quotes from Frank. So shout out and thank you, as always, to my good friend Frank for making sure I've got stuff to talk about. So it's Asian American Month. He's been giving us some quotes from Asian Americans. Another great Asian American is Hikaru Nakamura. He is a chess grandmaster. We tend to think of chess players as having high IQs. He, quote, famously took the Mensa online IQ test and scored a very average 102. Despite this fact, he is our nation's highest rated chess player as measured by the widely used FIDE rating. And so let's talk about that for a second. We tend to think of IQ as being like the size of the engine in a car. And you step on the gas and you can just go faster and you can accelerate quicker. That's not how the brain works. The brain is so complex. There are so many different aspects to it. I'm a pretty smart guy. I'm not a good chess player. But if you were to score our IQs next to each other, just objectively, most people, without knowing who we are, would probably say, well, Jeremy's going to be a better chess player. I'm not. I'm actually kind of a terrible chess player because I rush, because I want to get this thing done and get on to the next thing. Okay, here's my move. Now you go. Ah, crap. I didn't see that. That's how I play chess. Ah, I didn't see that. Chess is not my game. There are plenty of things I'm good at. There are plenty of things I'm not good at. And in fact, I have a theory that everyone, literally everyone, has something that they could do that they would be the best in the world at. But most of us don't spend enough time trying different things to find out what that is. And in martial arts, what's the example I use? It's Bill Wallace, best kicker of all time. Phenomenal kicker. He tried different things and found the thing he was best at. And you get other people like that. You have certain musicians or, other artistic pursuits are probably the easiest ones to think about. You get actors or writers who are just so far beyond everyone else. You could say the same thing about engineers or architects or, I don't know. I've seen people who are exceptional at mowing lawns, right? Like genius or intelligence or whatever you want to call it comes in so many different forms. First quote. Critical thinking is the most important factor with chess. As it is in life, you need to think before you make decisions. I'm better at doing it in life. I'm not great at doing it in chess. It's been a long time since I've played chess. Maybe I would be better now. Because I've gotten better at being patient and stepping back and evaluating situations and connecting dots and thinking about all the different ways things could go. Perhaps. Pardon me. I slept really well, but I had a really good workout, and my body just crashed. I zonked out pretty hard. That's a weird way to say I slept well. Number 2, in chess, you try to do your best, but there are instances where you make mistakes or you try and take risks that you shouldn't. And I think losing games is a good thing because you learn more from when you lose than when you win. And that is, I think, one of the great either secrets or ignored realities of the human experience. We learn more when things don't go well than when they do. And thus, should we not be spending more time evaluating, unpacking, understanding where we go wrong? The only place that I'm familiar with that really spends a lot of time digging into where things go wrong is professional sports. They watch a lot of videos. Okay, let's look at this play right here. Why did this not work out? You know, professional football, they watch tape, right? It's not, assuming it's not on tape anymore, it's digital. But they'll unpack plays. They'll spend hours and hours and hours going through the previous week's game so they can be more prepared for the following game. We should be doing that. Now, there are some areas of society where we do that. But professionally, as business people, as career whatever, we talk about our wins. We celebrate our wins. We misrepresent the positive in our lives to the point where we forget about, ignore, and even sometimes try to hide where things went wrong. When the irony is the things that go wrong are the things that educate us. How does a kid learn how to walk? By falling over a whole bunch. How do you learn how to spar? By being really, really bad at sparring and missing blocks and not connecting with kicks and punches and getting punched in the face, right? The more things go poorly, the more it teaches us what not to do. If you start out with a very large number of things that you could do, over time, you identify the things to not do, and you're left with fewer and fewer options. And I think that this is the grand secret in life. What would life look like if we were more open to discussing our failures, our challenges, and actually worked with people to learn as much as we could from those failures? That's what a coach does. It's what a good martial arts instructor does. What if we could carry that out into life? It'd be pretty cool. Stacy says, how do you learn to pull your toes or thumb when kicking a board? Fail once. It's very true. And Francis is joining us. Good morning, Francis. I don't normally do this, but I will announce publicly Francis and I are talking later today. Francis is coming on the show. I'm excited. Normally, the only place you find out who the upcoming guests are is in the Patreon, what did I put up yesterday? I put up, I think it was yesterday, the manuscript from our Adrian Paul interview. He says, honored beyond words. It's going to be fun. We have a good time on the show. Number 3. No matter how badly you play, unless you make a flat-out blunder, there's always going to be some narrow path to being able to save the game and draw instead of losing. How many people give up? How many people hit a stumbling block and just say, I'm done? How many people start a business and they assume it's going to go great from the beginning? And then something doesn't go right, and they quit. When I counsel new businesses, one of the things I suggest that they do before they get started, or even if they have started, is make a list of everything that could go wrong, no matter how ridiculous it sounds. The place where my computer, our website is hosted floods or catches fire, somehow is damaged. Okay, so what do you do with your website? And you put together a plan for each of those things. You put together a very comprehensive disaster plan. And a lot of those plans will never be used. Most of them will not. But here's the thing. Every business will at some point face a disaster that they never would have imagined. Do you quit? Do you move forward? Every person in life will face some kind of disaster that they never imagined. Do you just roll over and die? Hopefully not. You find a way to keep going. You find some path forward. And while every school does it differently, for many, the black belt test is an attempt to get people to realize that. It's an attempt to get you to keep going when there's plenty of reason to stop. Because once you can keep going, once you know you can keep going, once you know that there is really no limit, you can always throw one more punch. You can always get up one more time. Everything else becomes simple. Maybe not easy, but simple. You just find a way to keep going. It's kind of what we're doing at Whistlekick. All the things that I started out to do with this company, we're doing hardly any of them anymore. We've pivoted into other things because I genuinely believe at some point, somewhere along the line, we will reach a point where things start to work. We're almost there. We were almost there. We were so close. And we'll get back there again. And once we get there, things will be fine. But we'll have other challenges, and we'll face those too. Stacy says, hospital-wide cyber attack? Yes, we are now teaching others in healthcare about disaster plans. There you go. Stacy works at a hospital that got brutalized. It's pretty rough. What's the takeaway? Keep finding that narrow path to victory. And if you don't know where it is, sometimes you just have to wander. You know the path isn't right there where you're standing, so you gotta look. Number 4. It's very encouraging that the game of chess is growing in the US and is becoming more popular. And most of that is due to the Netflix series, The Queen's Gambit. I read something, there was some statistic that they were able to attribute the purchase of chess sets back to that show, and it was like double. Chess sets were selling twice as fast or something. Cool. Anything that makes people think and makes them more resilient to life, teaches valuable skills, works for me. I think there's a lot of overlap between chess and martial arts. You have different pieces, which you could consider different techniques. You have different strategies that you could implement. And you have to balance what you are trying to move or do with what your opponent is moving and doing. Pretty darn similar. A really good martial artist, like my understanding of, because I'm certainly not anywhere close to even a decent chess player, will appropriately react to what their opponent does. You know, if you've spent much time training, that you can't just throw techniques regardless of what your opponent is doing. It's the best way to get punched in the face. But as they do something, you find the best way to react to it. And my understanding of chess is you do the same thing. I got one more. Before I go, reminder, hey, you can grab this mug. Not this one. This one's mine. You can't have this one. But you can grab one of your own at whistlekick.com. You can use the code FIRSTCUP15. You can get a discount on any of the things there. You can support us by making a purchase there, or Patreon.com/whistlekick, or you can throw money in the tip jar at whistlekickmartialartsradio.com, or you can pick up a program at whistlekickprograms.com, or you can grab a book on Amazon. There's so many ways. Look, if you're a martial artist, hopefully we make some stuff that you like. That's just the heart of it. I would say out of all the things I studied growing up, math was probably one of the things I liked the least. Not what I would expect about someone playing chess, but that's okay. Math's about numbers and probability and options and statistics and permutations. So is chess. So that's kind of interesting to me. I wonder why. Wonder what it was about chess that he liked, math that he didn't. I know for a lot of people, math gets very theoretical. That they appreciate, what we called word problems. They liked understanding, okay, how do I apply this to life? Chess is kind of a real-time, visual implementation of probability and things like that. And Francis says, exactly, when one loses at chess, one doesn't think chess didn't work for me, but thinks, how can I deepen my strategy and execution against this type of opponent? Exactly. Which is a great philosophy to take into your martial arts training as well. Okay. All right, everybody, I'm going to go. I hope you have a great day. I hope to see you back here tomorrow, bright and early, 6:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, here on YouTube. If you're new, subscribe, turn on notifications. I appreciate you all. Have a fabulous day.